Happy February 12th. JLD here, and welcome to Strategy Today. In this show, we talk about the Bitcoin gain for strategy this year thus far. We also talk about the fixed income products. We give a simple explanation for them. Is strategy becoming a Bitcoin bank? We talk about that implications, as well as the convertible bond that's about to be dropped. It's an absolute bomb, and it's going to have some major implications that we talk about. This video is not financial advice, but please do comment below where you're watching from, any questions you might have. We have some great conversations in the chat, so let's get started. All right, and the next post is from Mr. Michael Saylor himself. So far this year, strategy treasury operations have resulted in a BTC gain of 18,527, which equates to a BTC dollar gain of 1.8 billion for MSTR shareholders. And you can see he's got a little screenshot of the strategy.com website. This is actually what I went over yesterday. Pretty cool to see Michael Saylor calling this out, and he's going to continue to do so as they're pushing towards even more transparency. Great post by BitStrategy. Forever, always, and never are absolutes. These words accept no qualification, and as such, they shouldn't be used lightly. Conventional wisdom. There will always be Bitcoin sellers. Saylor wisdom. I will buy at the top forever. Never sell your Bitcoin. The two statements above are mutually exclusive. Something has got to give. Don't bet on strategy being the one to budge, though. Saylor chose his words carefully, Bear. Perhaps you should have done the same. Bitcoin overflow. This is the simplest, most basic essence of MSTR's fixed income products. Convertible bonds. Loans paid back with MSTR shares that are marked up 40 to 50% instead of cash. Preferred stock, which is Strike. Buying MSTR shares at a premium in exchange for a dividend. So Bitcoin overflow, thanks for breaking this down. This is the simplest, most basic explanation of the fixed income products. For convertible bonds, they are loans that are paid back with MSTR shares that are marked up 40 to 50% instead of cash. In the preferred stock, Strike, buying MSTR shares at a premium in exchange for a dividend, meaning you're buying the actual Strike, which is going to be at a higher price at a premium, but you're going to be getting an 8+% dividend on that. Let's keep on moving on to Chris, who shares Strategy is the first company in history to have volatility as a moat. Read that again. All right, Chris, I'll read it again. Strategy is the first company in history to have volatility as a moat. Michael Saylor has figured out that volatility is vitality, that volatility is a feature, not a bug. He is using it in an incredibly intelligent way to make MicroStrategy, to make strategy, to make MSTR the powerhouse of our time, in my opinion. Chris also shares a reminder that in an interview with Bernstein in October 2024, Saylor explicitly stated what the end game is for strategy. The end game is to be the leading Bitcoin bank. Michael Saylor. That was just back in October of 2024. All right, the next post is from Adam Livingston, who dropped an absolute banger. The ultimate game changer is here. MSTR's 18 billion convertible bonafide bomb is about to unleash stock price surge. Now that we've tapped most of the ATM, imagine a moment when strategy, already the titan of Bitcoin accumulation, pulls the trigger on the remaining 18 billion of its convertible bonds, a masterstroke that re-leverages its balance sheet into an unstoppable force. This is the ultimate financial mic drop that's set to propel the MNAV well past the 2.0 mark, igniting a stock price surge that will leave the market in awe. Let's break it down. The convertible bond magic. Convertible bonds are like the Swiss Army knife of finance. They start as debt, but come with a built-in option to morph into equity if the stock price skyrockets. This means MSTR can raise capital without the immediate dilution headaches while keeping the door wide open for conversion when the timing is right. As the bonds convert, the supply of shares tightens, turbocharging the upward pressure on the stock price. With every bond conversion, investors witness a tangible transformation of hidden asset value into public market glory. MNAV on steroids. The MNAV is essentially the market's pulse on the real unfiltered value of MSTR's Bitcoin empire. When these convertible bonds are deployed to acquire more Bitcoin, the tangible net asset value jumps dramatically, and the market's eyes will soon be wide open to the truth. As MSTR's Bitcoin hoard swells, every dollar in digital gold becomes a multiplier, pushing the MNAV beyond the 2.0 threshold. This is the catalyst that makes traditional valuation models tremble as the balance sheet starts reflecting an asset base so massive it forces Wall Street analysts to scramble and revise their price targets upwards. Accumulating a Bitcoin behemoth. This is where the real magic happens. By leveraging the 18 billion convertible arsenal, MSTR is primed to aggressively acquire Bitcoin. And we're talking about a hoard that will exceed 500,000 Bitcoin extremely soon. As the company locks in more digital gold, it transforms from being just a tech firm into the ultimate Bitcoin ETF with a corporate flywheel attached. The market awakens. Imagine a world where every bond conversion and every new Bitcoin purchase is like a shot of adrenaline straight into MSTR's valuation. Institutional fund managers, value investors, and even the most skeptical analysts will be forced to recalibrate their models. Suddenly, MSTR isn't just riding the Bitcoin wave, it's steering the ship. As the MNAV climbs and the stock price surges, the market will realize that Strategy's convertible bond strategy is not just clever finance, it's a revolution in capital allocation, a seismic shift that turns hidden assets into explosive growth. This year is the moment when the traditional financial world meets its reckoning. MSTR's re-leveraging via convertible bonds is the secret lever set to unleash a cascade of Bitcoin-fueled value, a catalyst that will propel the stock into an astronomical ascent. The era of passive fiat has ended. The age of strategic, high-octane Bitcoin accumulation is here, and MSTR is leading the charge with an arsenal of convertible capital that's nothing short of revolutionary. Buckle up, kiddos. The strategy rocket is about to ignite. And there's Michael Saylor ready to rock. And I want to end with Stack. We haven't heard from Stack for a while, and I just love when he posts some really great content. So Stack shares in previous bull runs, long-term Bitcoin holders unloaded their coins into weak hands as the price ran up. But today they are selling straight into Michael Saylor's black hole. Saylor and Strategy are gobbling up an enormous amount of Bitcoin at every level of long-term holder profit taking. This is resulting in the stair-stepping price action that has characterized this bull run. It's almost like he wants to destroy all your models. Thus, there's one question we should all be asking. What will run out first? Saylor's fiat money tap or the available Bitcoin supply? My bet is on the latter. Thank you, Stack. And let's move on to 3 epic video clips from Michael Saylor about leverage, life choices, and prosperity.
Should we apply leverage to what's working? Investing, business, life?
Yeah, I think if you have access to leverage under favorable terms, yes. For example, if you want to buy a house and someone will loan you money for 30 years at 2.5%, you should take the mortgage. I mean, your choice would be to work for 20 years and not buy the house, or you could buy the house. And by the way, working for 20 years, but I would say especially there's 2 elements here. One is what's the cost of funds, or what's the expansion rate of the money supply? If the money supply is expanding by 7% a year in US dollars, and someone will loan you money at 3% interest, you certainly should take the leverage. Because if you buy the $1 million house, then it's going to be worth $5 million, in 20 years, and you will have generated wealth. And if you don't buy the $1 million house, you will work for 20 years and the house will keep getting 7% more expensive, or you'll never get the house. And in 20 years, you'll have nothing. So I think that in an expansionary monetary system, which describes our money system for our lifetimes, it definitely makes sense to take leverage in your personal life if you can do it under fair terms. Like I wouldn't say buy a house with a credit card with 14% interest, right? I wouldn't tell you to go buy $1 million of stock with 90% or 10x leverage, mark to market every minute, because if you get 10% volatility, you get wiped out and you lose all your money. So I wouldn't say use mark to market leverage to speculate. That's a bad idea. I would use long duration leverage in order to live better. That's a good idea. Mm-hmm. My advice if you're entering adulthood: focus your energy, guard your time, train your mind, train your body, think for yourself, curate your friends, curate your environment, keep your promises, stay cheerful and constructive, and upgrade the world. If you want to provide prosperity to 8 billion people in the world, if I was speaking to anybody, anyone starting their life or their education, or family said, what should we teach our children in order to make them prosperous? I would say, master the protocols of prosperity. So what are the protocols of prosperity? One of them certainly is math and physics and engineering, right? Those are the science protocols of prosperity. The second would be something like the English language, which is a communication protocol of prosperity. The third would be Bitcoin, an economic protocol of prosperity. Let's come back to the science protocols. Why are they so powerful? Well, because the laws of physics apply without prejudice or bias, everywhere on Earth simultaneously all the time. And so they're not subject to political distortion and ideological distortion.
And there you have it, another episode of Strategy Today. I truly hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you got value, please like and please comment below. Let me know where you're watching from. It helps so much. So thank you for that in advance. And this is not financial advice, but what I will share is my daily DCA into MSTR. Every trading day of the year, $210. And as you can see, at 10:10 a.m. yesterday, I bought at $331, 0.636 share of MSTR. So another great day of DCAing into MSTR. Michael Saylor and team, do your thing. And remember, there is no second best.
What's the second best? There is no second best.